Hello and welcome to the Dynamic Duo podcast. Today, we're gonna dive into one of the areas of personal growth. We talked about the different areas last week, and now we want to focus on emotional growth. What is it? How can you grow emotion in your emotional life? And yeah, we're going to share tips and tricks and stories of our own life. So stay tuned. Welcome back. Armando, how are you doing today?
You caught me in fraganti. I was pouring some coffee. I was pouring some coffee for me. Yeah, I'm doing good. Good to see you again, Anja. And good to have all of our viewers with us as well.
Yes, exactly.
Well, yes, we are going to talk about emotional growth. Are you emotionally prepared for this episode?
I am emotional. I hope I am emotionally prepared.
We'll see. Please forgive us if we end up crying talking about emotions. No, it's going to be
No.
okay. It's going to be fine.
Yes.
Well, last week we did a little intro. If you, our viewers, or some of our viewers are here for the first time, you can find the last episode right here and take a look at that and then come back and continue with this one. But last week we spoke about, it was a little intro, right, to the different aspects of of personal growth. So we're trying to demystify what personal growth is. It's accessible to everyone. We just need to be a little diligent on the research and finding the different aspects and hopefully in that way identify what kind of help you also need. And today is the turn, or we're going to talk about emotional growth. And I have a little definition. Let us take this as our foundation for the discussion today. So when we talk about emotional growth, we talk about the aspect or the development and enhancement. Yeah, that's a difficult word for me today. Enhancement of our ability to understand and to manage and express our emotions and even our emotional needs in a healthy, reasonable, educated, productive way, right? So we want to understand ourselves and we want to regulate, be a little proactive, not necessarily reacting emotionally, because it seems to me that if we are not emotionally healthy, we are always on a reactive mode, right? So what we want to do is to reach emotional maturity in order to express those emotions, to come to grips with our emotions and then express them healthy, right? Of course, this could involve this is a never-ending process, actually, right? Maturing, growing up emotionally, because it's a continuous process in which we continue discovering ourselves, uh, refining our emotional regulation strategy process, and of course our soft skills, right? The way we handle emotions, the way we go about interacting with other people. So that's an always moving, growing, living part of growth. What do you think, Anja?
Yes, it's very interesting. Thank you for this intro and this explanation of what we're talking about today. Yeah, I think emotions are a very big part of our life. I don't know, maybe for some bigger than for others, because some are probably more emotional than others, but we all react to things, and sometimes you don't even know why you react a certain way, or
Right.
why you reacted to something so extreme that you didn't even think you would. And that's exactly what we're talking about, to regulate those emotions, to figure out what are my triggers, and how are they influencing my emotions, my daily life, and also how to bounce back from negative stuff.
Yeah. Um, of course, when we talk about emotional growth, or the emotional aspect of personal growth, we we there is a long list of subcategories, right?
Yeah.
And we will not be able to cover all of them. But if you're interested in knowing more about it, please drop us a note. Our Anya's and my contact information is on the description box. We do offer services in one-on-one, or also in the group coaching modality. And we are organizing a new webinar slash coaching program. So if you are interested in knowing more about that, please drop us a note. We'll be happy to arrange a discovery call with you. But I have a list, Anya, and then we can maybe like pick one or two aspects. What do you think?
That sounds
And just take them apart for our viewers. I have a self-awareness, and I believe we spoke about self-awareness a few days ago, or a couple of weeks ago. Emotional regulation, or emotional intelligence, right? I guess emotional intelligence is a term best known out there for
yeah.
there are books and podcasts and things like that. Empathy. Oh my goodness. I cannot say how important for me empathy is, the ability to be empathic. And somehow I have the feeling that that is a skill that is forgotten in many ways in our society. And one more in my list, maybe you have some, Anya, as well. Compassion, self-compassion, or self-love, the ability to love ourselves. What do you think? What should we talk about?
Do you have a favorite?
Well, I mean, well, yeah, I have maybe like two or three, but one that is, I've been talking to some of my guests in my Spanish podcast lately. It's about self-compassion or self-love, in the sense that if we are not okay, we are not able to help anyone.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the inability to take care of ourselves, it might be pathological. It is, if you enjoy feeling sorry for themselves, and some people do not know how to take care of themselves. That's another aspect. But and then other people that are very giving. They want to help. They want to serve others all the time, to the point of self-exhaustion. And they just like break down down the road, because your body, your emotions, your emotional tank, better say, has a limit. And that's why people, even high achievers, they have also a limit, right? So I think self-compassion and the ability to treat oneself, to treat ourselves with kindness and understanding, is a priority. What do you think?
It definitely is. It's actually a topic I've been exploring a lot the past few years, because I wasn't very compassionate with myself.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think it's very important to take care of yourself, to figure out ways to be healthy in that sense, to not ignore your feelings, to let them out. If you're sad, you're sad. If you're angry, you're angry. No emotion or no feeling is bad. It's just if you go overboard or if you hurt someone because of it, that's the bad thing. But the emotion itself, if you feel what you feel is neither good nor bad, and oftentimes when we don't feel good, we and you're not compassionate with yourself, you want to shove it down somewhere, and you don't really, yeah, you just feel like you have to do it all, and to not feel bad right now, just don't, just ignore that feeling and go on, and don't take a break, don't take a rest. And I can tell from experience, if you don't listen to all the warning signs you're getting, your body is gonna, it's gonna react, and you're not gonna like the reaction. So this is really important. It's also, I mean, we hear it every time we fly in an airplane. Put on the mask first for yourself and then help others. If you don't know how to take care of yourself, how do you want to help someone else? That's
Right.
just
You just gave me an idea for the thumbnail for this video.
that's the mask.
It's gonna be either you or me, you know, with a mask. Because that's the truth. I mean, if you are not okay, you will not be able to help the weak that is might be sitting next to you.
Yeah.
You know, and that's something that been going through lately myself, as self-employed, and of course you know what that means. You are a one woman, one man show, right? You have to take care of everything: planning, organizing, finances, and so on and so forth, right? And it takes time. It takes a lot of time. That in my case, you know, sometimes, and I'm telling you this because this is very current right now, in which, you know, sometimes my kids or my wife had to remind me, like, hey, you know, it it's not worth it if you break down.
Yeah.
You know, it's not worth it if you don't manage your family or your health and so on and so forth. So it's very easy to fall into that trap, I think, you know,
Yes.
into giving and I'm being productive and this and that, but we ignore ourselves, like you just said. So um so yeah, I think it's very important to embrace, uh, yes, our difficulties, our emotions, but also to embrace self-acceptance and celebrate small achievements, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and not to have to, I mean, it sounds maybe like a contradiction. We want to achieve, of course, we have aspirations and we want to achieve them, of course, but sometimes we could be unrealistic to the point that we put at risk, like we just said, you know, our health or our family, our, you know, and for what? That's the point, right? So I guess the importance of self-compassion is actually fundamental. You know? Just be nice to yourself, be kind to yourself first, and that way you can be in a better position. For
Mm-hmm.
example, Anja, let me ask you, how do you take care of yourself? How are you nice to yourself?
Well, one thing I wasn't always as consequent as I am now is that Sundays is a holy day for me. It's no work. I used to, for example, do my laundry on Sundays.
Mm,
Um, And then I read the concept of Sabbath for those who are listeners who know what Sabbath is. It's like the seventh day you take a break. That's from the Bible. And he explained it in a way where he said, this is a day for you and God and your family, but to do those things you enjoy, to enjoy life. And that concept changed my mind a lot about how I want to make my Sunday look. So I do things on Sundays now that I enjoy, and that's some type of self-care for me.
Yes.
I do. So maybe I need a lot of sleep that day, so I sleep. Maybe it's a nice day outside and I go for a walk and enjoy nature, or I spend time with family. It's no laundry because I don't like to do laundry. So laundry is for all the other days. I have 6 other days for laundry.
Yeah, that's right.
All the other things that are nice or not as nice, like laundry or cleaning or something like that.
Right.
I have all the other days, but Sundays is to enjoy life, to live life to the fullest. And that's one way I take care of myself.
Nice.
What about you?
But yeah, what about me? But before I say something about me, I know that firsthand. I mean, I know Anja will not answer any message. It will not answer any email. Just like leave me alone. This is my day. So I appreciate that very much, and it is a great example for me. So thank you, Anja. What do? I like, well, several things. One thing is very mundane things for me. It's like I love sleep. So when I sleep, I go for it. I sleep, and so my sleeping time is a nice way of treating myself, because I know the importance and the significance of that sleep has on our lives and every aspect of our life. So I take that very seriously, and I'm trying to improve it even now as we speak. But sleep is one thing, and then eating. I don't like to deprive myself from things. I am not a picky eater. I mean, I can eat everything, and I have a missionary stomach, as we say in Bible college, right? I can eat anything. So in that sense, I'm not very picky. But when I eat something, I like to enjoy. I like, I don't want to deprive myself from something. So eating is for me important. I love to enjoy my food, and that's a way for me to enjoy life and to be nice to me, because it's like, well, if I'm working, and I'm not able to eat whatever I want, what is the point of it? I know it's very mundane, but the principle is there. I need to be nice to me, right? And when my kids, I try not to spoil my kids. I don't think I'm that kind of father. But it's the same thing with my kids. If they want to eat something, we don't eat fast food and things like that. No, that not. But if they want to eat something or whatever, I try to be accommodating, and say, like, we have to enjoy. If this is a time to enjoy, then enjoy. You might not, pretty much like the Sabbath type of principle. This is not an everyday thing. But when it's time for it, then enjoy it. Don't think about it. Don't have remorse. Just enjoy that, right? So those are the two things that I try to do for myself to enjoy life. Mundane, but I think I love it.
And it's important. I mean, especially both are really important, but sleep, I mean, I don't function when I don't sleep right.
Right.
It's just, I'm a wreck.
Yeah, I know. I learned that a few years ago, speaking of emotional regulation, because I noticed how I was busy as a pastor, working and giving and preparing and going and this and that, right? And and sleeping few hours every day, and the next day go at it again. And then I was noticing that I was short tempered and not as creative and fed up with things like, wait, hold on, and something is wrong with me, it that it, that that's not acceptable, right? So then every now and then I took a nap. This is before I learned about the science behind sleeping. And so I took a nap, and it was like a brand new Armando, after I wake up. Everything was honky dory, everything was life was beautiful, and everyone was, I loved everyone, right? And I was creative and this and that. So then I began to research about the impact of consistent good sleep on our emotional
Mm,
health. And it's just like, oh my goodness, I need to take care of myself. So sleep is very important regarding our emotional regulation, our emotional growth. Very, very, very important.
that's very-
Yeah. Should we touch on another one, Anya? Do we want to really quick? I mean, we will not be able to cover every single one. So
No. Yes. Yeah, let's touch another one
which one do you
quick.
want? Would you like to?
Um,
Quick reminders: self-awareness, emotional regulation, intelligence, empathy, resilience, healthy relationships.
let's talk about empathy.
Empathy. All right. I love it. Empathy. How would you describe empathy, Anya? I know this is a very out of the cuff. Uh, put you on the spot.
Yes. Empathy is the ability to, I don't find the right words right now, so I'm just going to use the ones I have to feel with someone.
Yes, I mean, I think it's on point. I have one here: the ability to understand to some degree. Uh, well, no, to understand and to some degree to share the
Yeah.
feelings, the pain, or not only pain but also happenings
Oh, yeah.
of others,
Mm.
and 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 to act accordingly. I believe we have to demonstrate compassion and support and just joy in those cases. So yes, I think empathy is so important in every aspect of life, in the family, among our friends, in our neighborhood, with co-workers. But I believe in the corporate world, eh, that aspect of life is a little bit verloren. I'm thinking German now.
Lost.
Lost. Thank you. It's a little bit lost. What do you think? The ability to be empathic with our coworkers.
I think also when you look at the internet, like the comment sections, um, yeah, empathy is not always there. And that's why you already mentioned it. That's why one of my questions to you would be, how can someone who feels like they lost empathy a little bit, how can they find it again? What can we do to grow in that area?
Yeah, I think the one a lot of times people that lost that ability to be empathic, they are suffering, I believe, and they feel betrayed, maybe they feel hurt, or they've been hurt, uh, and that's why a lot of people become cynical
Mhm.
in life. The lenses they use to see life is is very dark.
Yeah.
and and they have a lot of times, I mean, I'm just thinking generally, they have a victimhood complex, and they might feel that everyone is against them or after them. So they have this um, barrier around them, this fort around them, this protection wall around them, emotionally speaking, I mean, right? So in that sense, they become a little bit egotistical, and they don't think about others. They just think about themselves.
Yeah.
So how to help someone like that? I mean, we mentioned that a couple of episodes ago. It's very hard if you yourself and that, I mean, that person in that case, it's a little bit open for that. Self-aware, and that's another aspect of emotional growth. To be self-aware, like, oh my goodness, I think I'm a son of a gun. It's not it's not okay the way I act. If someone is suffering, it's like, well, you know that's your fault. Sorry. It's like, well, that's not okay if someone is suffering, if you react that way, right? Or if someone is experiencing a promotion, or a birthday, whatever, and you're envious, or if you have resentment, and things like that, right? So self-awareness is important. Otherwise, it's going to be really hard. Um, so so what I probably do is, with a client like that, is that I will uh, work on that first,
Mm.
and to find out, to get to know the person, and that person might discover those areas of life that are damaged. I mean, that's not for me to say, but they have to discover that on their own. And then with that, we can do a lot, because again, if you are not open to receive help, then no one can help you. That's what I think. What do you think?
Yeah. Also, I think if for people who have like really deep scars, or maybe it doesn't even have to be too deep scars, I think emotional growth is one of the areas that therapy can help a lot, and can be an amazing tool to dive deeper into the topics that hurt you in the past and that trigger you now to not be able to be empathic.
Yeah, empathic,
Yes.
empathic. Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
I think you're right. Mm.
That's also one thing I would suggest, that if you realize that there are a lot of outbursts or a lot of triggers that are triggering you, then maybe consider therapy before you go to growth. Maybe first heal the wounds that happened. And if you want to be more, if you want to learn ability more, then learn to sit with people in their pain when they're feeling it, and learn to celebrate with people.
Mm.
Really, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's beautiful. Thank you, Anja. Before we close this one, and again, for our viewers, if you have more questions regarding any of these aspects of emotional growth, please drop us a note. Again, we are organizing we have an upcoming webinar, including a coaching aspect of it. That's not just information, but we really want to help people out. Drop us a note, and we can arrange a discovery call with you and tell you all about it. But maybe a good idea, some practical tips for our viewers. And we spoke about a few days ago about journaling. And I think journaling is a very nice practice. It's a nice habit to have, because the process of journaling, writing down, maybe at the end of the day or at the beginning of the day, I don't know, you have to decide for yourself. But I think journaling is a very healthy habit to have in order to be self-aware. First of all, to be self-aware. Okay, where am I? Why do I think the way I think? Why am I acting that way? And so on and so forth. It's usually writing those things down. The discipline of writing down is a very complex discipline. It's demanding. It's very demanding when you get into it, really. But beautiful. I believe it's beautiful. And I think if you can start slow, you don't have to get really hard on it right away, but just a couple of minutes every day. I think that could help anyone to develop their self-awareness. So that's one practice. What do you think? Do you have another practice that could help people on their personal emotional growth area of life, Anja?
I would suggest to leave it there. Maybe challenge our listeners to try it out this next week, to write it down, maybe once a day, maybe it's once a week, but start writing it down, start journaling. There are many ways to journal, different like prepared journals, or you can just use a notebook and just start with that one and figure out if this is something that helps you.
Awesome. Nice. Very nice. Well, until the next episode, next week, we'll be back with another topic on personal growth, diving deep, taking it apart, and hopefully helping you out, adding some value to your lives with these topics. Until then, we wish you all a successful and blessed day.
Bye.
Bye.